What's going on, people? Jeff Brown coming live and direct from Harker Heights, Texas, with a special, nice little comeback for Just Wild Water Boxing. It's so good to be back again. It's been a whole minute, but there's two reasons for that. One, if you can't tell by the sound of my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. I have been sick now for quite a while. That's part of the reason why I haven't been able to do videos. But not only that, computer kind of broke down on me. So due to the wonders of technology, I'm able to speak to you once again from my cell phone, which this will be the first of many more videos I hope that I can come out with. But I especially came back for two reasons. One, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that's been going on with recent boxing news. Of course, I'm going to come with that like I always do. That's going to be part of that, but we'll get to that later on. But the reason why I'll in particular come back on at this moment, at this particular time, right now, is that, first off and foremost, I want to say before I go any further with this, that I want to send a shout out to a few special people out there that I've been watching here on my PS3, which is how I've been keeping up with everything, and I have been keeping my ear to the ground, listening to everybody out there, and I love everything that's going on with y'all right now. Y'all are doing some good stuff, much appreciated. Thanks for the support on my end as well, and because everybody's been wondering, well, when you coming out with another video, things of that nature, and I figured now's a good time as any to go ahead and do that. So I want to send a shout out to Mr. Universal Sports. Big supporter of his. We've supported each other since I started this back in '09, and much respect to him. Carcino, what's going on, man? It's good to see y'all still out there doing your thing. And KG Carlito 21, still been listening to the show when I can, and much love to you. Most of all, blood boxing. That's what I feel like is my road dog. Even though we've never met on a personal level, I feel like that I had the need to kind of bring myself out, being that, believe it or not, back in '09 when I started doing this YouTube thing, his videos were the first ones that I actually came across in the YouTube boxing community that got me hyped up enough to say, you know what, I could do the same thing. And I really want to send much love and respect out to blood boxing for that. My man has been through a lot. He's had his pages taken down numerous times, and some of the comments he makes, some people easily get offended by it, because I guess you could say he comes on a little bit strong for people, but that's what we do this for. Hell, I've been guilty of it. Fortunately for me, it hasn't gotten to that level yet, and I hope that it never does. But basically the reason why I've come on this video today is to more or less respond to his, well, actually I just wanted to respond to his last few videos that he's come out with here in the past few weeks, in particular the ones about Andre Ward, and especially the one that I just got through looking at here tonight in regards to Mayweather and Pacquiao. But overall, pretty much lately, the trends for blood boxing has been to say that he has a major problem with so-called media hype fighters, and I could agree with that. Not 100%. I do beg to differ just a little bit on that. I don't agree with everything that he's saying, but once again, that's what we do this here for. You have your opinion, and you're entitled to it. I'm not going to come on here and try to cuss nobody out or get into any racial tones or anything like that, because that's not what I do. Never have, never will. Now, if I'm pushed to that level, I will speak up on that end, but I more or less just want to call this a response video, I guess you could say, in regards to that, and just to say that I respect you. But what I need from you right now is just a little bit of clarity, brother. I gotta know when you're speaking about so-called media hype fighters. 90% of the ones that we know of right now, in particular that he's speaking of, seem to be the ones that are so-called great fighters that are only just good fighters. A great fighter to me is Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey. You know what I'm saying? What I like to call fighting champions. They fought whatever that was put up in front of them. But what bothers me in particular about some of the things that you said in regards to these media hype fighters is that the cherry picking issue is what I want to focus on for a second, because you refer to cherry picking as if to say that none of the great ones even had to cherry pick a time or two. Who's to say that Muhammad Ali didn't have to cherry pick a time or two? Everybody knows Rocky Marciano did it. He had no choice. And that's why I've never considered Rocky Marciano to be as great a fighter as what people give him credit for, because he came at a time when all your top fighters were either trash or they were just too old and past their prime. And I could put some of today's fighters into that category that are potentially future Hall of Famers and probably already are in the Hall of Fame. In particular, I bring up Lennox Lewis. The man was a disgrace to the sport as far as I'm concerned, but that's a subject for another day. He's another one that I do not consider to be as great as what people give him credit for. Joe Calzaghe is another who I really don't consider to be as great as what people give him credit for. As a matter of fact, I can almost say he's one of the main ones that I get on right about now that has a lot of nerve to come out there and talk a whole bunch of shit talking about I could beat this fighter, I could beat that fighter, I could beat this fighter, I could beat that fighter. Okay, so why didn't you stay to stick around and fight those guys? Not only that, the ones that you did fight, that you wanted to fight all those times, you didn't take them until they got old either. So my point is this. When it comes to the cherry picking issue, so-called great fighters, they've had to do it a time or two. Pernell Whitaker did it. Sweet Pea's my boy. He had to cherry pick a time or two. Did he want to do it? No. Unfortunately, that's the business and the nature of boxing. So what I'm saying, brother, is that I need some clarity from you, blood. I gotta know what you're saying. I gotta know what you're meaning. Are you really meaning what you're saying, or are you just saying it from what's coming from right here, and it's just getting out maybe a little bit too fast because it sounds just a little bit contradictory to me? Not only that, what bothers me is that we're talking about Floyd Mayweather's resume as if he has not fought what was put in front of him. No Flomo. And I'm going to just keep on saying that as I continue to talk about this subject, because I'm going to get on this and I'm going to get on it hard. But I'm going to say it like this. I need clarity on this because, I respect Andre Ward just as much as you do, brother. And I have no doubt in my mind that this man is guaranteed Hall of Fame status once he retires. You're right. He's already cleaned out his division. But let's just be honest for a second. Andre Ward signed the contract to fight in a Super 6 middleweight tournament. The man even said it himself. It felt awkward for him, especially after he beat Chad Dawson. It feels awkward for him right now to try and find his next potential opponent because he has gotten so used to the fights being put right there in front of him. He had gotten so used to it. Think about how long this tournament was. He had a signed contract that guaranteed who his next opponent was going to be, whether they pulled out or not. He was guaranteed a next opponent. Was there some cherry picking involved with that? Yes, but once again, not by choice. Once again, clarity, brother. Clarity. I got to know what you're meaning, because I don't feel like the depth of what you are saying right now, as far as cherry picking, as far as looking at certain fighters' measure, a la Mayweather Pacquiao, as far as who they fought and do they deserve a place in history for what they have done. The bottom line is this: you got to give credit where credit is due. Whether it's Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, whoever, you got to give credit where credit is due. And that's all I'm saying, brother. I need clarity on what you're saying. I needed clarity from you when you referred to the same subject matter when you spoke about Andre Ward after coming off of the Dawson fight and how impressive he looked. Because if I'm not mistaken, when I watched that fight, it kind of reminded me a lot of Mayweather and Corrales back in 2001. Corrales had to come down to a weight that he was no longer able to hold, obviously, at 130 pounds, and Floyd made him take that fight. Was that cherry picking? Yes. But was he not the top fighter in that particular division, whether it was junior lightweight or lightweight? He wasn't going to fight Acelino Freitas at the time. It wouldn't have meant nothing to him. He wasn't going to fight freaking Joel Casamayor at that time. It wouldn't have meant shit to him. People wanted to see him and Corrales get in the ring because the belief was that Corrales was going to beat him. Granted, people don't want to give Floyd credit for the ass whooping that he put on Shane Mosley. But I got to say this. Check your facts when it comes to that, because if Mosley was just that freaking old and Mayweather was just that off of his game that night, as some people like to say, then why did that fight take so long to come off? Because if I'm not mistaken, around about that time after he came out to fight with Corrales, were they not trying to put that fight together, and it couldn't be done because Floyd didn't have that type of status yet, and Sugar Shane Mosley was looked at as not putting butts in the seats until after he fought De La Hoya. He had to step up and wait to fight De La Hoya to get that so-called media hype that you're speaking of. Fighters do what fighters have to do. Champion or no champion, you do what you have to do to get the job done, is what I'm saying. I don't care if your name is Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, Lennox Lewis, Rocky Marciano, John L. Sullivan, Gentleman Jim Corbett, Jack Johnson. It doesn't matter. You do what you got to do. And if you want to be real about it, I'll even track back history for a second, and let's talk about Jack Johnson for a brief moment. Let's not forget, once again, check your facts on this. Jack Johnson, considered to be one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, did more cherry picking out of the black heavyweights of his time than any other top black heavyweight in his era. Jack Johnson drew his own color line once he had the title. But so-called boxing fans and boxing historians will tell you he's considered to be a great fighter. And I have no doubt in my mind that he is. But there's a certain line of greatness, and there's a certain line that comes next to greatness that's called respect. Because last time I checked, greatness in my book is defined as also having the respect of your peers. This peer right here does not have as much respect for Jack Johnson as what I probably should have. Yes, he was the first black heavyweight champion. Yes, he had to struggle to get there. But let's be real about this for a second. Was he really as great as what people considered he was in his own time? Because the way I understand it, the way boxing history tells me, there was a few other brothers out there named Sam Langford, whom he fought numerous amounts of times, and a few others, Joey Jeanette, and quite a few others that he supposedly fought so many times that when he had the title, he not only promised his guys he would give them a shot, but as I said before, a color line was drawn. Something that had been done to our brothers left and right in those days. So I just want to end this, basically, this part of the video, whatever, as far as saying, you know, I just need you to be a little bit more clear on what you're saying. And yes, I'm basically saying this is a little friendly debate. And, you know, you can take it how you want it. But I just want to let you know, I mean, no disrespect to you in no way, shape, or form. But I am going to debate this with you down to the end. And I'm not going to hold back. Because I stand by what I say just like you stand by what you say. If you truly believe what you are saying about these so-called media hype fighters, mainly Mayweather and Pacquiao in particular, all I'm saying is you got to give credit where credit is due. Even when you don't want to. And that's all I'm saying. Do they deserve to be there? That's your opinion. But I'll tell you what. Right now, my pound for pound list reads like this. Floyd number 1, Andre Ward is number 2. And the reason for that is this. Floyd has been doing it longer. And he's fought what has been put in front of him. Cherry picking or not. He's fought what has been put in front of him. Did he make the best decisions all the time? No. What fighter doesn't make a mistake as far as opponents are concerned when you fight somebody that you know you ain't got no business fighting? Should I bring up Oscar De La Hoya? Nah, you don't want me to go there with it. You don't want me to go there with it. Because we can definitely go there. You know. Timothy Bradley. One of your other good guys that you speak of, who I don't respect right now because I feel like, you know, before the Pacquiao fight, you had a chance to fight a now defunct Amir Khan when he was still somewhat at his peak and still somewhat considered to be a good fighter, which I truly believe in my mind that you probably could have beat Amir Khan, especially with the way he's getting his ass from now. You probably could have beat this man just as easily as these other cats had. But instead, you moved up in weight chasing Pacquiao's ass. I don't understand that one. But this is one of your good guys that you're talking about that, you know, you say deserves to be where he's at. But once again, let's check your facts on that, brother. Does he really deserve to be where he's at? Does he really deserve the so-called status that he has? He's respected, but in small circles. You know, like I said, I love Ward just as much as you do, dude. He's one of my favorites too. But like you said, right now, he's one of your favorites. What are you going to do if he has to start cherry picking? Once again, check your facts. Check your facts. Every fighter has had to cherry pick a time or two. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm willing to look up any current fighter's resume. Hell, I'll give you fighters within the last 20 years. And you tell me if any of your so-called great fighters of the last 20 years have not had to cherry pick a time or two fighting guys that we know we don't want to see them fight. You tell me. For real. Show me. Let's make a comparison. Hell, I thought I was going to put some more news out here, but shit. I guess not. I really want to get a response to this, man, because like I said, I need clarity from you. I need you to be a little bit more clear on what you're saying, because I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it right now. You know, I don't feel like you're being as clear as you used to be. Because the blood boxing that I know not only came off as somebody that you could trust and listen to, and saying what they mean and meaning what they say. Because right about now, as I've been watching you within this time frame that I've been away, you're getting more and more unclear with some of the things that you're saying, and you're contradicting yourself. And I'm just making a point out to you. You can take it how you want it. I'm just pointing it out to you. Your facts are a little bit unclear, and you're contradicting yourself just a little bit, brother. And that's all I'm going to say. Peace.